So I have to say, I know this is a general reading, but I read the cards as they come. And it looks to me that this is something relationship or emotionally based, okay? There was some heartbreak or heartache that you suffered in the past, and it was in some type of relationship or bond that you felt was a very strong bond, someone that you had hoped and expected to have a long-term commitment with, someone that you thought was at your level, understood you understood them. There was, I feel like a spiritual connection with this person, okay? This month is really about you gaining your independence and overcoming any shallow kind of arguments, disagreements. I want to say petty back and forth kind of banter. I feel like in the past, maybe you felt like this person won in some capacity. You know, maybe you felt they won out in some way. Maybe you felt as though they got one over on you. And you've been working on your independence and finding your strength. You've felt trapped emotionally, but also mentally. Like, I don't know where to go from here. I don't know how to move on from this. It's like maybe emotionally, because I don't see any cup cards except for the Two of Cups. I don't feel like emotionally you're still attached or connected to this person. But in a mental way, it's almost like, okay, well, this has ended and this has not been what I desired or expected it to be. So where do I go from here? You know, it's like you put your eggs in one basket kind of, and it didn't pan out the way you desired it to. This month, you're breaking free from whatever has mentally bound you. It's your own thoughts. It's your own limiting thoughts and beliefs about yourself or about your situation. And this month, you're finding the strength and the determination to move forward and take action in your own life so that you can find peace, happiness, joy, and reestablish yourself. But this is almost like I have to say, it's almost like you've come out of this a different person than what you were. And now you're much wiser, and you're going to be able to implement whatever wisdom you gained out of this situation to create for yourself the kind of stability, both emotionally, but also in a physical sense. Create the stability and security that you've been desiring, but has kind of been eluding you for the past several months. Okay? This month is all about charging forward and taking action and moving past those mental blockages. I feel like this person who hurt you in the past, and you know, it doesn't have to be a romantic partner. It can be like a business partner, or it can be someone that you just thought you had a much stronger bond than what actually was. I feel like this person, you know, they were very petty, and they kind of put you down in very petty ways. But what you may not know is that they actually are a bit, I want to say, intimidated by you, because they recognize that you're the kind of individual who doesn't back down from a challenge, but you thrive in it. You're a success in your own right. And honestly, I think that to this other person, it's a bit intimidating because they don't feel they have that capacity within themselves to be as strong and confident and independent as you are. So you deserve a pat on the back. You really do. And I don't feel you're rewarding yourself with that. You're just pushing forward. You're charging forward. You're like a soldier this month. You're moving into action, moving past mental blockages, moving past any heartbreak or heartache, moving past any, I want to say, emotional or mental abuse that you may have suffered in the past, even at your own hand. You know, we're always our own worst critic. But this month you're deciding to take action to be stronger and be better than that and actually work on yourself, but work on yourself in a physical sense as well. You're making changes in your life that have needed to be done for a while, but you just weren't mentally or emotionally prepared to do so. And this month you're taking action to do that. And the outcome card is the most beautiful here. It's the Four of Wands. This is, this card denotes stability, security, success, something worth celebrating, joy. Okay. This can even be an actual physical kind of celebration regarding your success, you reaping the rewards of your efforts. Okay. So let's look at this a little bit more further. But one thing I have to say is this is about you applying what you've learned this month, applying what you've learned in the past several months, taking physical action to make the necessary changes to create what you want in your life, because you have that ability right now. Don't be your own worst enemy any longer. Don't hold yourself back with limiting thoughts or beliefs about yourself or your situation. You need to stand up for yourself and be your own best friend. Okay? We have enough enemies out there. We have enough haters out there. You need to believe in yourself. Be your own best friend. Okay? Let's see. What do I want to look at? I kind of want to look at the five. Sorry. I want to look at the Five of Swords here. Five of Swords. See what this is about. Yeah. Maybe you've been waiting for a turnaround in this partnership, or you've been waiting to see if this person is going to make a change. But I also feel like you've been waiting for something to come in instead of taking the initiative and taking the action to make it happen for yourself. You've spent a lot of time considering this situation and what you want to do. I know as Virgos, we're very analytical and we don't do anything, without really thinking it through. So this card, certainly you, Virgo. There's a pleasant surprise that comes about for you because you're overcoming the pettiness, the petty arguments, the self-doubt, the fear, and taking action, because you can't just sit and wait and ponder for things to happen. You need to actually take action. Another thing I want to say with this Five of Swords is don't be afraid to take what's rightfully yours. That's kind of the message I'm getting with this card. Maybe you've been holding out and you've been trying to, we're a sign that we're about servitude and we're about self-sacrifice in order to help and appease other people. In this month, it's about taking and owning your power, taking it back, even if it upsets other people. This is about you overcoming your own, demons and not allowing other people to control you. No longer waiting and pondering, but taking action to gain back our power and strength. And there's a pleasant reward or surprise that comes out of that. I'll look at the Four of Wands here. Yeah. So see, I feel like, okay, some of you may be getting engaged this month. Some of you have had a hard time in relationships because you've been hurt in the past. But this partnership that you're in presently, or that you will be entering in, can turn into something like marriage. You've been waiting a long time for this person to come in, maybe. There's a consolation here, a reprieve, a blessing. You see, it's an angel bringing this man what he's been waiting for and longing for. The ship that's sailing in is symbolic for a long waiting period for this ship to finally come to shore and provide the blessings that this man has been waiting for. This card can speak one of two ways, depending on, who you are. For heterosexual males, this card can say a young woman is coming in that you find attractive, but also this woman is young. She's sometimes naive, but she has a good heart, okay? For females, this card can symbolize you as a person being open to receiving. Being open, I don't want to say naive, but being innocent, maintaining your innocence after all this heartbreak and heartache, and not dwelling on past hurts or pains and allowing that to affect your future. And then we have the wedding card. So with the Four of Wands and the wedding card, this to me says wedding. This is a celebration of some kind, okay? So for some of you, again, this is about finding that right partner, finally getting what it is you're desiring in a relationship, and it leading to marriage or that level of commitment. For others of you where this is not the situation, that set of cards can really just be saying there's some type of consolation. You've been working through some difficult, challenging energy, mentally dealing with limited thoughts and beliefs, but finally getting that reprieve this month and beginning anew, beginning fresh, having a fresh start, and making new contracts or agreements that are going to be very prosperous. Okay, so that's what I have for the general reading. Let's move into the singles reading for Virgos. Okay. We have the Seven of Cups, the Knight of Cups, the Devil, the Five of Pentacles, the Eight of Pentacles, Four of Swords, the Hanged Man, Temperance, and the Seven of Pentacles. Finally, I don't know why I said seven here. And then it came out anyway. And the Queen of Swords. So, single Virgos, what do we got here? Well, you're coming up as the Queen of Swords, whether you're male or female. What this means is that in the past, maybe you suffered some type of, you've been through some bad relationships that have taught you a lot about relationships, about connecting with another individual. You gave too much of yourself in the past, and now you realize through this past experience that it's okay to be a bit selfish in relationships. It's okay to have boundaries and expectations, because if you don't, you're going to get walked all over. So entering into the month, you're the Queen of Swords, You're someone who's more objective about love, someone who is more rational, more logical. You're not as easily swept off your feet, or you don't romanticize your partner as much, because there's this fear here there's a fear of being in another bad relationship. Because once you're in love, once you're involved, it's hard for you to break free. So we have the 7 of Cups, the 5 of Pentacles, and the Hanged Man in the first row. And this is telling me that there's some disillusionment about past heartbreak and heartache, and you feel, I almost want to say there's like a martyrdom kind of attitude. It's like you have to sacrifice love, like you don't deserve love, or you can't get love because it doesn't work out for you, and you always end up in toxic situations. So it's almost like not that you're wanting, but you're taking a break from relationships, and I feel you're focused on your work, you're focused on your money, you're focused on building financial prosperity and wealth, because you're just confused about, and I don't want to say confused, but there's just this apprehension. You want love, but you're afraid it's going to lead to a bad situation. So, excuse me, I see that this month, I feel like you're more focused on yourself. And by the end of the month, you're looking at your money, but not only your money, you're looking at yourself and how you've invested yourself in time with other people, what you've sacrificed for other people, and you're realizing the benefit of being single more so than you have in the past, because you're realizing that you are self-sufficient and you are self-made and you are independent, and that you don't necessarily need another person to fulfill you and sustain you emotionally. Now, for some of you, there's someone coming in to offer love, but it may be a karmic relationship. Now, that doesn't mean that you should not get involved with someone, but usually karmic relationships are relationships that teach us a life lesson or teach us about love and relationships and commitment, so that you can operate from the place of like the Queen of Swords, okay? Where you have healthy boundaries, you have a healthy mindset when it comes to relationships and connections with people. So for some of you, there's someone coming in. Doesn't necessarily mean it's the love of your life or it's going to be sunshine and rainbows all the way through. But there's someone coming in and you're not sure about this person. You're really just not sure. And I feel like because of that, you're going to take things slow and you're going to try to work out things with this person. But really, ultimately, the message here for those whom that situation applies to is that this karmic relationship is about you gaining some sense of self-healing, because there's something that needs to be healed on an emotional level. And this relationship is going to do that for you, okay? And it's going to help you be more understanding of why things in the past have happened to you the way that they have. You're going to be able to take responsibility, more responsibility for what you've allowed into your life and what you haven't, based on your past decisions and choices. So just be mindful of that. There can be someone like that coming in this month and you're unsure about them. especially because you've been hurt in the past. But for others of you, this is really just talking about, it's almost like you feel, okay, I can't deal with relationships. You're kind of acting like a martyr in a sense, where it's like, I'm not going to deal with it. I don't deserve love, or love isn't for me. But by the end of the month, you're realizing, you know what? I do deserve love, and I deserve the best kind of love. And the reason that I've been through what I've been through is because, man, it's made me a much better person. And now I can draw in the actual partner that I want and that I deserve, rather than settling for something that isn't for me. Because in the past, you've settled for these kind of karmic toxic relationships, trying to materialize them and make them into long-term relationships where there's equal give and take, and they just haven't panned out that way. So you're taking a break from those relationships. And that's great. Nobody wants to have to deal with that. But you're just analyzing it, This month you're really looking at yourself, and you're focused on yourself, and you're building your self-confidence and your self-worth so you can draw in the right partner, which is wonderful. The message here too is this month is about you, again, building that confidence, building that self-worth so that the right partner can come in. And you're working on yourself, which is going to give you healing energy. It's going to heal you emotionally and spiritually. For some of you too, there's like a guardian angel present with you who's helping you get through this emotional state that you find yourself in, and reminding you that you are deserving of love. You're on the right path. You see in this Temperance card, there's a path behind this angel leading to this light and this joy and this happiness. So you're on the right path. You just got to trust it. Trust the process. Let's look at the Devil card with these clarifying cards. Yeah, for some of you, there's someone coming in, okay? There's like a promise of long-term commitment here. You're getting a message of love. We see that here with the Knight of Cups. But because it's coming up on the Devil card, I would say be cautious, because it's just, there's something karmic about this. There's a lesson to be learned out of that kind of relationship. So don't rush into anything, which I don't see you doing, because there's the Four of Swords under that. So I feel like you're kind of taking a time out, or you're not as, you're not jumping the gun with this person. This could be someone who you've known as well, but they haven't been open with you and honest about their true feelings for you. So it's coming to light. But again, there's something about, it's a karmic relationship. So just know that it might have some ups and downs. Doesn't necessarily mean it's not going to work out. Doesn't necessarily mean that, it's going to be a terrible toxic relationship. It could just simply mean that there's great lessons to be learned out of this relationship that is going to lead you to ultimate love and happiness. Okay? So that's what I have for the singles. I'm going to move into the couples. We have the Page of Pentacles, the Three of Pentacles, Six of Cups, Six of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles. Gosh, my goodness, all these Pentacle cards. Ten of Swords, Knight of Pentacles. Oh my goodness, people. The Empress. And the Justice card. All right. Bottom of the deck, we have the Five of Swords. Coupled Virgos. Oh. Well, with all these Pentacle cards, I have to say, you know, there's a focus here on finances. There's a focus on money. And I don't know if that's what's affecting your relationship because you feel like there's a lack of give and take. Maybe you feel like you're putting in more work than your partner. Let me look at the cards here. Obviously, there's some type of heartbreak or stabbing of the, you know, being stabbed in the back. Petty arguments, disagreements. I think this has to do with money. I think there's a partner that they haven't been honest, or, you know, they're not showing you that they're just as equally devoted and concerned about your home and the security and stability of your home because they're not working as hard as you are. And you feel stabbed in the back. You feel like they're not putting in the effort. You've tried to work and collaborate with this partner. But again, there's been petty arguments about this. Now, with Justice as the outcome card, it's telling me that by the end of the month, your partner may be getting an offer, a work offer. And that's going to stabilize your financial situation and balance the scales so that there is equal give and take in this relationship. Because there's something here about you have provided financially, but maybe you're feeling the strain of that. And you're wanting your partner to put in equal amount of effort, even if it's not so much them working, but contributing equally in some capacity in your relationship. And it's led to arguments, you know, and it's led to you feeling hurt by them. It's almost like you're taking it as they're not as committed to this relationship as you are. Some of you, I have to say, it looks like you may be going through a divorce or a separation of some kind. And initially you were hopeful that you could work together to, you know, cut the ties and separate everything equally. But this person stabbed you in the back and you weren't expecting it per se. I mean, you weren't expecting it to be as harsh or for them to be as harsh as they've been. But just know that justice is on your side and things will be balanced out. Let me look here. I'm looking at the Three of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles, the Empress and the Ten of Swords. This triangle here. Somebody's just not being fair. And I almost feel like for some of you, this can be a situation where someone's like, I want to say being, using their charm to manipulate a situation. But at the end of the day, like I said, the scales will be balanced. Okay? Let's look at this a little bit more. I want to look at the Ten of Swords first, obviously. Let's see what that is about. Cards upside down. you're getting some type of news or communication that someone you trusted, someone you have this kind of bond with, this emotional connection with, and I feel it's a wife, or if you're the wife, this can be you. Whatever this Ten of Swords situation is, this talks about overcoming that Ten of Swords situation. You're getting some communication that's going to make you very happy regarding a wife, or if you're the wife, this is going to be in regards to you. Okay? And let's look at the Justice card. Yeah, you're getting, everything's going to work out to be fair, because you've been, I want to say, like, there's a lot of mental anguish over this. And you love this person, they love you, but a new set of contract or agreement or negotiation is going to take place, which balances the scales. If this is regarding a divorce, again, a lot of mental anguish about this love partnership, okay? But this new contract or agreement that's handed down by the court is going to be fair. Okay? Try not to get too involved in petty arguments and disagreements, because honestly, it's just going to look bad for you. Try to just be the bigger person. You know, try to see the overall picture. Don't get weighed down by whatever petty crap comes your way. Okay, just try to be the bigger, better person. Take a breather before you respond to anything or anything like that, because you don't want to be caught up in this. Okay, you don't want to be caught up in these petty arguments, because it may be that they present this to the court and you look like the loser because you've engaged in it. So try to steer clear of that. Things are going to work out for you. You're strong, you're confident, and you're going to come out on top. Be the king. Okay?